YouTube.
There we go. We're on.
Yeah, baby. Here we come. Mm. Oh, yeah. We're going to have a good chat tonight.
All right.
Nice intro. Was that created with After Effects or?
Yep. An element.
Looks great.
The Gatling gun, huh?
Yeah.
That delay.
No, I turned it off.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I'm Keel Dyken. I'll be tonight's host. Thank you guys for joining my channel. Tonight, we are going to be talking about CES 2019, everything that we saw there, all the tech. Primarily, we will be talking about Arcade1up and all the new things coming out. Thank you guys again for joining. Tonight, I am joined by some guests of mine, co-hosts, Super Dimensional, and also the Wolf of Gaming. As you guys know, the Wolf of Gaming was also there live streaming on Thursday. So we'll let them speak for it now for a few moments.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. We have a lot to talk about tonight and looking forward to it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Super Dimensional, and just here joining along with these guys, and we'll get into it. So, what was it like, guys? You guys went without me. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend, but tell me what the experience was like.
That is right. And I know first and foremost, I was there at CES. I know I want to first of all thank the Wolf of Gaming for encouraging me to go, because I was like, I don't know if I should go or not. This was like a few days after Christmas. So he encouraged me to go. And then also, more importantly, my wife, she stood beside me, and she always supports all of my hobbies and stuff and everything that I do. So wish she could be on tonight. Kisses I can. She's not on. So I definitely want to thank her as well. So all right, so let's hurry up and get into this. CES 2019, the things we saw. I know most of you guys are here to probably hear about Arcade1up, the things that are going on. As you guys know, they're coming out with Bad Dudes. We know they are coming out with Karate Champ. Some of the games we already expected, like was it Space Defenders?
Space Invaders.
Yeah, Space Invaders. I'm sorry, Space Invaders. We know they're coming out with the counter cabs or the countercades, and also the wallcades. We have Golden Tee coming out. Mortal Kombat. We have 3 games coming out for that. Mortal Kombat. They claim the sound issues or fixes for Street Fighter have been resolved. It's not stereo sound, but both left and right channel audio has been moved to mono on the cabs. They may be coming out with the cocktail cabinets as well. So we have that to possibly look forward to. There was also some rumored talk about NBA Jam. We'll talk about a little bit more about that later on in the discussion. So, Wolf, what was your outtake about all the CES and things that you saw there during your live feed at CES?
Well, first of all, CES 2019. Man, what a way to start out the year. 2019 with a bang. CES did not disappoint this year. This is a great time to go. It's right after Christmas, like you had mentioned. We're done with most of the holidays, so it gives us the opportunity to see what's coming out. And many of the things that you see at CES, you may never see because it's just a lot of prototype stuff. They're kind of trying to get a feel for what the public wants, and we spent a lot of time on the Arcade1up booth. And it was a really, really nice experience talking to all the people who are involved with this, with these cabinets, and seeing what's out there, what's going to come out, and I had a really good time.
Yeah, from what I could see from the footage, it seemed like that Arcade1up booth was a pretty big standout. Maybe you guys just spent a lot of time there, but relatively speaking to other things you saw at CES, I mean, was their booth like nicely represented and everything, or was it just kind of like a little hole in the wall type deal, or what? How did you guys feel about that?
I personally feel their booth was nicely represented. I spoke with Sandra, David, and Mike. So those were the three people walking around with me the majority of the time I was there. I was actually there for about maybe 3.5 to maybe 4 hours. I live streamed for about 2 hours trying to take on it. Actually, I got everybody's question. I think the only question I didn't ask that I forgot was, could they possibly pop it open to see what was running in there?
Right.
We're going to talk. In fact, let's go ahead and talk about that now. I was really impressed with Golden Tee, which is slated to release later on this year. Upon touching it, I mean, not even for a second, I could tell that it was arcade quality with Golden Tee. I didn't see the previous pictures saying that they were HAP controls or as a HAP trackball. So I did see, I mean, I could feel it instantly. Another thing that I could tell instantly that was, I don't know if it's something that's going to be implemented later on in the future in the newer runs, but before I even started recording, when I first got there, about 15 feet away, I could tell the monitors were different. So I joked around about it on my last video in the extended footage, but it could have appeared to be that these cabs and the vibrant display, they looked nuclear powered. And what I mean by that is the images were very bright. I don't know if they use, just for the CES purposes, NVIDIA G-Sync monitor or something, but if you look at that video, you can't tell in the live feed, but on the 1080p 60 frame video, the extended footage, you could tell like the images are very vibrant. They're not whitewashed from any angle. Even now, if you look at Super Dimensional Street Fighter running in the back, you could tell it's a little faded out or white. It was not like that. We're talking about crystal clear, better than 4K quality, almost QLED stuff. I'm not exaggerating. I mean, you would have to have been there to really see from every angle that it was there. And I know, Wolf, you saw it too. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, that's right. That's one of the first things we were told by the staff there, that the monitors were not changed out or anything, and they were the original ones that had been given out on the first run of them. So the Street Fighter 2 cabinet, the Rampage, and all of the other ones. The Macintosh guy had told me, look, these are the same monitors, nothing has changed. And I kind of thought to myself, wow, I'm walking around this cabinet at every angle, it looks really nice. It looks almost HD like. There was no jagged edges or anything like that, and I was really impressed. So if they just have the software running better or a better controller, I'm not sure what it was, or they're using different equipment. I was just
you guys also seem to think, and I wasn't there, but I can just see from the videos and just in our discussions off air, that you guys said that the scaling artifacts were also not present, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, I couldn't see any of the jagged edges that I could before with Street Fighter. So a lot of the anti-aliasing looked to be gone. There was nothing with the characters moving fast, no blurriness. So I'm not sure what it was. Maybe it was just all the excitement of CES. But to me, if you guys take a closer look at the video footage, maybe you guys can see something I didn't.
Well, I noticed that just through watching, various clips that you guys were doing. And also pictures that I saw on day one from John Tanaka. I noticed just that, you know, he had taken some pictures that were off angle, and I thought, wow, that
Right.
it really looks good, and it's like severe off angle. And I know that mine improved quite a bit just when I put the Raspberry Pi and that monitor encoder on there when I did the mod. It did improve, but it didn't improve that much. I mean, it still has that.
Yeah,
You know, like if you're
if
you're at a severe angle, it's going to be washed out. You know,
it's, you know, even standing in front of it, you could tell it was just a vibrant display. And I know Ed Ray just commented right now in the chat. He said he went through 3 monitors on his deluxe. He replaced them all, but he saw the video where the rep said this tighter QC on the monitors or something. But guys, I kid you not, I'm not exaggerating. The even hooking up my Pi to a 4K TV does not make it look this vibrant. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. You, like, again, you can't see it on any of the live footage because the live footage is scaled down to 720p.
Right.
So at 1080p, 60 frames per second, you can see the clarity on the monitors. And even then, even looking at that video, it doesn't do it justice because it was bright. And there was none of that little pixelization or any of that stuttering stuff that you would see on the Street Fighter cab. So you would have to look exactly at the final fight and also the Mortal Kombat video footage to really tell the difference.
And Keo, didn't you notice that mostly on the Mortal Kombat cabinets? Because I walked around to the Street Fighter one, especially the tabletop cocktail version of it, and that to me looked the same as what we're currently used to, you know, looking at. But there's something about the Mortal Kombats that seemed like exceptionally well done. Like the image was just popping.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. One of the other guys I talked to, he said he saw a YouTube video and somebody tried to knock over or move the Mortal Kombat cab, and he said it was a little heavier than what he anticipated. He said there was something else possibly in there, according to him. So
well, they might have weighted him down just because they knew people might do that stuff too, but that's a possibility.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Well, I did try to look at the cocktail table, and that was normal weight. It wasn't that heavy.
Yeah.
What I think they did was, I think that, and this is common. We've seen it at E3 where, you know, they're showing a video game, and then next thing you know, oh, it's really running on a PC, and it's not really running on a, you know, PS3 or Xbox or whatever. I mean, we've seen this before. But what I'm thinking they're doing is just, you know, they're going to CES. They want to show their best presentation, and it's all a bunch of fanfare, you know. This is, so they're basically going to fib it a little bit and say, oh, yeah, this is what you get, you know, and it's really, you're gonna get some. And I get it. Like, I get you're not going to get a freaking premium monitor in a $300 cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, when these things are clearing out at $199, we'll just put a $30 more expensive monitor in there, and, you know, keep the price at what it is, and people will buy it if it's quality, you know.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me for CES. Remember, it's not for customers or fans, it's more or less to show to investors. So I mean, even if they did push the envelope a little bit at CES to say, hey, this is what we can do and this is what we should, you know, it would look like, that wouldn't surprise me. So I mean, it's CES, and remember, all the stuff that we looked at were prototypes. We had a question. Somebody was asking me what did I think of the Mortal Kombat controls, and personally, I liked it. One of the things that turned me off about the Mortal Kombat series was when they introduced the run button, but they made it so far away from the other buttons. I love the Marvel versus Capcom series, so you have all 6 buttons there. So when they introduced the run button in the Mortal Kombat series, it seemed like it was on its own little thing. I mean, it was like a few inches away from the other 5 buttons. So knowing that these are a smaller scale, I think it's all comfortable. And I actually like that fact that it's right there and not too far away from your other combo buttons. I know that they used a lower quality 8-way joystick bat top control for the CES. So we'll see if they keep that and implement that in the newest production runs.
So,
did you guys know what the original Mortal Kombat cabinet used for their joysticks? Were they HAP or were they the Soundwell ones?
HAP.
Okay.
Yeah, HAP. HAP competition sticks and buttons, concave buttons. I had a question because I noticed I was being very observant that day because I wasn't present, but I was in the chat with you guys and seeing everything. And I noticed on, I believe it was day one, I saw pictures of the Mortal Kombat cabinet with ball tops on it. And then when you guys went live and I started seeing bat tops on it. Did you guys notice any certain machines having ball tops and others with bat tops, or did they make that switch sometime during the show?
Well, I asked about that right when I got to the booth. One of the first questions before I went live, and I said, look, the original arcade cabinet, as I remember it with Street Fighter, was bat tops. He says, we know, we've been listening to everyone, and that's why we're going to come out with bat tops for Mortal Kombat. And because of that, we will have the bat tops on this Street Fighter here. So I think what they're doing now is kind of, catering to all the fans and all the people that have spoken up. So they are listening.
No, but what I'm saying is I saw at the show a Mortal Kombat machine, a picture that was taken at CES of one of the Mortal Kombat machines with bat top or with ball tops.
Yeah, the final release they told me will be with bat tops.
And then I see the row of machines later in another video, and they were all outfitted with bat tops.
Yeah, I think they were kind of at a time crunch, so they probably got whatever was around and didn't have time to switch them all out.
All right, but they're definitely going with bat tops going forward.
They are. But the Mortal Kombat, I have confirmed from them that they will not have the backlit marquee, or they won't have the T-molding either. They will stay at the original price that they came out with Street Fighter 2 and all that other stuff.
Okay. So there's been talk around the pages, and I don't know if it's fake or not because I haven't seen any of this, but in regards to the T-molding, I've seen pictures where people are showing their Street Fighter and it has like real T-molding on it. Was there any conversation around that other than the fact that you said it's going to just stay like how it currently is?
Yeah, the rep did tell me about that, and he says that some of the cabinets will be like a premium one. Like if you notice the other one with the lit marquee that everybody is talking about.
Golden Tee.
Yeah, Golden Tee. That will be a premium model that has the full-size trackball. And that will probably have T-molding, although not 100% confirmed because I asked two different reps and they both had different answers. So, but those will not be $299.
Okay.
All right, it's cool. While we're here at this point, I have a special guest who called in and I asked to be available for the show. And ladies and gentlemen, I have Mr. Mark Jones, also known as Get Off Your Lawn Gaming, here with us tonight. So go ahead, Mark. You're on.
Hey, what's going on, people?
Hey, what's up, Mark?
Hey, welcome, Mark.
So, Mark, what was your opinion? What do you have to say about CES, the new cabinets, and your experience with Arcade1up?
Well, most people probably know that I have been their #1 loudmouth, blunt, troll-busting person since I heard about them in late September, early October of 2018. So I've come to know a lot of the people at the PR firm that represents them, and I've come to know the CEO and some of his executive staff at Tastemakers who makes the cabinets. And yeah, I mean, if you don't know who I am, just all you gotta do is just go look at a couple of the posts on the official page. You'll find me at some point. I own 2 cabs right now. I have the Gallagher cab and I have the Centipede cab. And as far as the CES goes, I am on pins and needles waiting for that Mortal Kombat to come out.
Okay.
So yeah, the wallcades are going to be cool. I'm probably going to pick up a couple of wallcades just to have them. Countercades, I don't know if that really suits my needs. but it's going to be a nice option to have for people with even less space than I have.
What's your opinion about
Mortal Kombat for the win?
Right. What's your opinion of Golden Tee?
Golden Tee is not for me, but I do know that it was probably it's probably the top 5 best-selling arcade games of all time, just because they're in bars. They are in, I mean, they still are to this day. I've seen them occasionally. In all the bars, it's probably the #1 sports cabinet. I know the NBA Jam people are going to go, no way. But yeah, check the numbers. I think that it was a great idea to put Golden Tee out there, just because the people, they're going to put them in their man caves that also have bars. They're going to invite their friends over, and they're going to have Golden Tee just like they do, and not have to go out of the house. Right. I think it was a very wise move. Right.
What's your perception or thoughts on the lighted marquee and some of the other things that you saw?
Well, the lighted marquee on the Golden Tee looks great. I don't know. I mean, the people that want that are probably going to not balk at paying the extra money for it. But I'm thinking that the ones that buy the other ones, if they come up with a lighted marquee on their own for the existing cabs that aren't Golden Tee, and the markup is minimal, they'll probably jump on it.
Right.
But I mean, I know some of the enthusiasts and the purists might buy the Golden Tee for $100 extra, if that's what it ends up being. Because remember, guys, gals, all that stuff is CES MSRP. The S stands for suggested.
Yep.
So that is not. I mean, if they said $179 for the Wallcade, it could end up being $119 at Walmart.
Yep.
Because it's suggested. Because everybody should remember that these cabinets, when they first came out last year, the MSRP was $399, and they ended up going to stores for $299. So don't even think about those prices you hear; they're always going to be lower.
Right. I personally feel that they should drop the price of the cabs and raise the price of the accessories. That way, that it'll get customers into the market quicker, and if people really want those extra accessories, they'll pay for it. What do you feel about that?
That's probably not a bad idea. Make the cabinets $249, maybe. I think that still leaves enough skin in the game for the Walmarts of the world to make enough margin. Because obviously, if they're selling them in some locations at $199, they're still making money on them somehow. Right. So that's one thing we're not privy to, what Walmart pay per unit. But if they're willing to sell them at $199, in some other locations they're not moving them, they're still making money. They're not going to sell them at a loss.
Right. Okay.
I think that's a really good idea. That they still get they can still get the end result of the money they want, and just simply mark down the cab, mark up the accessories.
Well, okay. Do you have any other questions that maybe came to mind as a result of our videos that we posted online? Anything that you feel that was?
The stream that you did answered every question I have, except for the one question that I couldn't get answered, and that was if the attract mode, if they had not fixed it. I don't want to say fix it, because who knows I don't think it was broke. But if the attract mode had sounds on it, because I know some of the games in the first wave does. Galaga does occasionally. Now there's none on the Centipede cab that I have, but I just wondered if it had attract mode sounds. Some people that's important. I think it'd be kind of cool if it had it.
I know if they include dip settings, which they really didn't talk too much about, you can enable that in the game. So I know Street Fighter should have that in several other games. So I guess it's just something we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, they've got to fix the stereo problem with Street Fighter before they worried about the other thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, apparently that's fixed. So yeah, supposedly.
All right, Mark. Well, is there anything else you want to add?
No. Well, I mean, there are multiple companies. There's multiple people that are coming out with active marquees. I mean, you mentioned you've got somebody that you're going to be talking to. If they've already done it, I don't know. But I also have somebody that's doing active marquees, and they just uploaded a video to YouTube tonight, as a matter of fact, showing it off at the retrocollector.com.
Oh, sweet.
Plug there, but want to throw that in there.
Oh, all right, Mark. Well, thanks for joining us. I know. I guess we might as well go ahead and have Wolf do his unboxing right now, because he has a few lighted marquees to share with us.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Well, competition breeds excellence. Just remember that.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Take care, man.
All right, and he's right about that. You know, what we've seen with these cabinets is a subculture of people starting to mod them. People coming up with their own lighted marquees. A couple of people I know are working on a new spinner for the Tempest cabinet. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but there's so much other stuff, other people doing stuff with CNC machines so that they can install a coin door on there. So that'll be cool to see. But I was approached by a gentleman that was selling the Marquee add-ons, and he usually creates them for regular size arcade cabinets.
Mhm.
But I decided to purchase them for the Arcade1ups because he said he had scaled it down to that size. And with these, you still have to build them out and create the frame for it and then backlight it. I have not seen all-in-one plug-and-play solution yet. So I'll be tinkering with this one, and I'm going to open it up right now to see what I got, and I haven't even seen it, so let's do it together.
All right, let's go. Let's do it. Open it.
And not to steal your thunder, but I think that the one I ordered from Mark is actually what you're looking for, the plug-and-play solution. So I haven't received it yet, but from what I saw in the video, or not the video, but online, the advertisement for it, it was $55, and it comes with the power supply and everything.
So Mark was the gentleman that was selling them on his Etsy page. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yep. Looking forward to see how that install goes. I'm excited because he did say that the competition does bring out the best. So we'll see what I got here. So, wow. So the print here is just phenomenal. I don't know if you guys can see it, but here's the centipede. It's flawless.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, let's get that thing plugged in.
Wow, it's really nice. And here's the Rampage.
And there's somebody on the page that has a Rampage one I've seen.
So again, these are just printed out so that you can put a backlight on it and create a frame. They're really nicely done. They're high quality. I can't see any dithering on there or pixelation. So I'm excited about see how these look like when I finally install them.
Yeah, they look good.
Somebody's asking a question. Any ideas if the audio and or HDMI out might become available? I don't think that is currently available, correct? Dex T, that is correct. I think they don't want to open it up because they want to leave it as their own proprietary system, quote unquote, even though we know now they're running MAME. So they want to keep it, they don't want to make it mod friendly or where you just plug it in and use any system you want. So I don't blame them for that. That's their business, strong point. So, I don't blame them for that.
And let's be real, like the modding community aspect of this whole thing, it's probably a very small percentage of the people that buy these that are actually going to tear into them and put a Raspberry Pi and put a lighted marquee. Most people, they're going to buy one or two of these and they're going to put it together and they're going to use it for a while, and maybe they're over it after a year and they sell it at a garage sale. But it's more of like us, enthusiasts. We're really the ones that are going to be diving in and doing these kind of things like you see the Wolf doing here.
Right. And guys, I want to add that we bought all of our game cabinets. We weren't given anything for free. This video you're currently watching is, in our trip to CES was funded by us, only for us. So there's no question or concern of whether we're being biased. We're going to give you a straight, honest opinion about anything. And if you have any questions or concern, please feel free to leave it in the chat right now. Any questions whatsoever, we'll take them all on. Let's see.
We're Dirty Gaming. I'm glad that they have finally made these cabinets for Lannisters. because this is for you.
Yeah, you gotta love We're Dirty Gaming. He definitely loves the video game and arcade community. There is a little bit of a slight delay on Supreme version 3. And again, I did tell you guys I had a special announcement. The special announcement still stands, but I don't know when we are going to release it. So the script that he created along with Level 1 Online is specifically made for arcade modders, potentially with Arcade1up modders in mind. So the new script is revolutionary. A lot of people have been asking for it, even other builders. And the script will allow you to change your image ratio on your screen with a click of a button. All those other videos you've seen online about going into the boot and changing the config by either adding or removing the hashtag on your Raspberry Pi video settings are all obsolete and a thing of the past. So thanks to Dirty Gaming and the Supreme team, we now have a new way of changing the resolution with a click of a button. So all that, and I've tried it. I have it. It looks nice. I mean, it perfectly formatted my 4K TV from whatever image I was displaying earlier. It was actually the 1080p settings flawlessly. I didn't have any letters to the far left of the screen with a click of a button. So thanks, We're Dirty Gaming. We appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I'm using version 2 right now for not my cabinet, but for some other little machine I have, and it's great. So I can't wait to see what the differences are with version 3.
So let's talk about release dates, because that seems to be a hot button and something that everybody has a lot of confusion on. And even in your videos, I heard from one rep this, and I heard from another rep this. So it seems to be that the common answer for Final Fight is February.
Yeah, February. And before we really get into that, I know there's a couple of questions. There is Calvin Jr., what's your question? He's saying something. I can't really see it here. But Marlon and Calvin are saying something about the Capcom game, Children of the Atom, X-Men versus Street Fighter. That I think that was seen, Wolf, in your video.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I didn't notice it at the time of filming, but there was definitely somebody playing X-Men, Children of, I don't know the whole name because I'm not super familiar with that game, but it was not Mortal Kombat. And some people were thinking that that was in this testing phases, and somebody that was walking around switched it to that game because the machines, I don't know if you noticed, Keo, you couldn't really tinker with them too much. They were stuck on the one game, and that was it.
Yeah, and I could tell they really didn't want us messing around with it too much.
Right.
They probably didn't want anybody trying to do test mode or something. They had the start button covered, but in all honesty, nothing would surprise me what they had in there or what they were running. It's CES. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they were running a GTX 2060 in there and something else boosted on the monitor just to give it that extra vibrant look. So they probably had MAME and a whole bunch of other games running. I mean, it's CES and it's not for customers. So
right. And Calvin, I think his original question is, who's going to sell these new machines for pre-order? And I expect it's the same people, right? It's like GameStop, maybe Walmart. I have yet to see these cabinets at Best Buy, but I have seen them at Fry's.
True.
One thing I did notice on that little still image that shows the X-Men Children of the Atom playing, I don't know if you guys noticed that it doesn't fill the screen. It's like it's framed inside like a smaller box inside of it. So whoever got that running didn't have it set up optimally.
Yeah, it was probably on a hidden emulator. They didn't intend on anybody else running. I mean, that is obvious. I mean, it's like on Pi. You could have MAME. You could have MAME 2003. You could have Final Burn Alpha. So you can have different emulators running, and it could have been formatted for a different type of monitor. So honestly, none of that is surprising because these aren't new games. Our Arcade1up's business model is to recreate the games that we love. So it wasn't surprising to hear David McIntosh say they are looking into light guns and also 4-player games. I mean, that shouldn't surprise anybody. So whatever video game was ever made in the arcade, just use your imagination that they are trying to get a licensing agreement for it.
Yeah, and we do have a confirmation on the emulator used for Mortal Kombat. It is not MAME. Somebody rebooted the machine and it showed Mu. So the Mu emulator is something I've seen on Android devices, right? So maybe that's why you saw Children of the... Is it Children of the Corn? What is that the name of the game?
No, it's called Children of the Atom. X-Men Children of the Atom.
Maybe that runs better on Mu and that they were testing out for that.
It runs great on Final Burn Alpha too. I have it
Nice.
on this cabinet here. So,
I know. Let me see here. Dex. No, they didn't mention anything about 4-player Gauntlet. They said they already have a Gauntlet, so there's really no need for them to install the 4-player Gauntlet. So, yeah.
How about those risers? The special risers, are those going to be a for sure thing? And if so, are they going to be the same price, or is there going to be a premium for those?
I think they'll be the same price for the risers.
Yeah, both of the reps I talked to said they were still going to be the $50 price range. They're not going to be any more expensive or any less. My biggest concern with those custom risers is that now you're going to have 20 Mortal Kombat ones and no Street Fighter ones left, or
True.
No blank ones and stuff like that.
Yeah, true. Kenneth Lee had a question here. Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man and licensing. Where did that question go? They may come out with it. I know Miss Pac-Man is a huge cash grab, so they will probably put that and something else on its own cabinet. Yeah, I wouldn't see them trying to load a cabinet up with Miss Pac-Man and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Right. Miss Pac-Man would be nice. A lot of people were waiting for that one.
Yeah. And Joshua Lee, we were told 2 different things, that the cocktail cabinet may come out or it was just a mock-up. So we don't know if they are going to release a cocktail cabinet. Personally, I think Street Fighter is a bad choice for a cocktail cabinet because it's a fighting game. With a fighting game, you want to get really loose to have some arm room and stuff to really get in there. If it's a single-player game like Defender or Centipede or something like that, I could see that on a cocktail, but not like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or anything like that. So,
and Keo, didn't you think that cocktail table was really low to the ground, like extra low?
Yeah. The cocktail table was really low. I would suggest they have to have a riser for that. I mean, that was too low.
Right.
I think the better choice on that would have been to just make like a wallcade where it has like a link cable and you have a single control scheme, and then you could either put them, back to back or side by side, and then you could play versus with the person next to you on a separate monitor. I think that would be a better choice because there is some plenty.
Awesome.
What's that? Back to back would be awesome, right?
Yeah, it would. That would be great.
And all they would have to do is just create some sort of a link cable,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed my time at CES. The people there were very professional. They were helpful. They knew what they were talking about, as far as what they really could answer and stuff. I know Mike was very, helpful when he walked around and answered a bunch of questions. So I know we still have a bunch of questions coming in right now to the, chat room, but you guys really would have to be there to really see it. One thing like I said, I pointed out earlier was the screens were really vibrant, and I don't know if that was just for CES display or if that's something else they plan on coming out with. The Karate Champ played really nicely. I know Bad Dudes or any of the other games weren't loaded on those, but that played pretty nicely. Final Fight ran great as well. The images were great. So again, I think they're using some type of different monitors or GPU settings to offset some of the things, but it was pretty impressive. So
Karate Champ was great too. I mean, I'm not a fan of that game, but that ran pretty good, in my opinion.
I'm just trying to figure out if they're going with the Karate Champ theme and it has those 2 controllers.
Right.
Where are they going to put the buttons for the other games that they want to run on that cabinet.
There's no room. It's got 4 joysticks.
I think didn't they? I think they said they were going to. I know it's in my video. I think they said they're putting them on a different cabinet. I'm not sure if it's going on that cabinet.
So the Karate Champ's just going to be probably its own cabinet then?
I think the Karate Champ is his own cabinet, but remember the cab there, even though it had listed Bad Dudes, Karate Champ and stuff, the only one that was loaded on that machine was Karate Champ. So yeah. I believe Bad Dudes and a couple of other ones you'd have to go back and watch my 2-hour video where I talked about it, but I believe it may be on its own cabinet.
So they were basically just representing the fact that they got, I think that's Tato that makes those games.
Right.
So they're probably just hyping up that they got that license probably.
Right.
And you know what? It would make more sense to me if you're going to do the dual joysticks to have, you know, the games that had 2 joysticks like Robotron. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Or was there another one like
I can't remember.
Something like that.
Was Smash TV had two joysticks?
Yeah, that had 2 joysticks.
I thought
so. There's only like a handful of them.
I think Smash TV had a what you call it? One of those directional things.
Oh, the Yukari Warrior style one.
Yeah, like that. And I think what was the other game that used that? Heavy Barrel.
Right.
Yeah, those games, man. It's hard to replicate that experience without that control scheme.
Also, guys, all 3 of us are based in California, so if there's any other conventions or things you would like us to attend, we will try to do our best to attend. I will definitely try to attend E3 this year, see how that goes. So we got things covered over here on the West Coast for you guys. Does anybody else have any questions?
I'll be at TFCon too in March, so if anyone's going to go to that.
You know, and that sucks too, because honestly, I would like to attend that, but I don't know if I'm going to go to Arcade Expo this year. So, and I believe they're both in the same weekend.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, I believe it's the.
And then the following weekend back in Anaheim is WonderCon. So, does anybody here have any other questions about CES? I know most of you guys are probably here for Arcade1up, but I was really impressed with CES. It was my first time this year. I believe now I'm grandfathered into the whole program, but CES was a really nice event for me. I'm actually feeling a lot better. Do you actually think they will ship Final Fight in 5 weeks? Probably. I mean, yeah. Well, I'm thinking maybe mid-February or the end of February. You know,
I think those things have been ready to go. I think they just held it back because that thing was supposed to come out on day 1, and then they all of a sudden held it back. So
okay, yeah, and but yeah, I mean, I had a great experience. CES, there were some great things there as far as all the robotics. So I'm trying to post as many videos as I can from CES. Hope you guys enjoy that. Just trying to be helpful to the community and things you guys might find interesting. So
let's get back to those dates. They said Final Fight is February. And then they said, and then I heard Mortal Kombat for either Father's Day, or I heard February, March, I heard September. So what was the definitive answer, or was there one?
For Mortal Kombat, they said sometime between Mother's Day and Father's Day. Final Fight, they said February. And everything, I think something else. Didn't they say possibly September?
That was the first month that they had said. And then when I had the rep follow me around the booth, he said, no, we want to try to come out with Mortal Kombat as soon as possible. Look for it for around Father's Day, because a lot of dads are going to want this cabinet.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So Golden Tee is pending licensing, right?
I think they've nailed it already. I think they're just working on producing them now.
Okay.
And remember, Golden Tee, they're not sure if it's going to come with a lighted marquee. That's pretty much the idea. And Kev, I totally get you, man. You know, I totally get you when people say, hey, nobody knows when these things are coming out. A retailer has to pick it up. In fact, Arcade1up doesn't even have control over that. It's up to the retailer. Nobody can make a prediction. I mean, I was standing at CES, and even if I was a buyer for a company, nobody can make that determination. I mean, yeah, so that's how things work out. Somebody asked, how did Mortal Kombat 2 run since it wasn't the real original ROM of the game we played in the arcades?
We were told it was the right ROM.
Yeah. As far as we were told it was the right ROM. But again, remember, we're not taking anything we're taking everything with a grain of salt, because I don't know if even they used the original PCB that they've already put out on the market, or was it computer based? We don't know what was inside those cabs. In fact, that was the only question I forgot to ask, was could they possibly pop it open to see what was running? So we don't know what was running in there. We don't know if it was a PC. We don't know if it was a laptop. We don't know if it was an Odroid. We don't know if it was a Raspberry Pi. We don't know if it was an NVIDIA Shield. We don't know what hardware they were using. We just know that it looked better than what we currently have, comparing the Street Fighters and Mortal Kombats to what we currently have in our possession.
And along with me, I didn't mention this, but my friend who has been playing Mortal Kombat since it came out, like all through high school and college and stuff like that, I had him try a couple fatalities, and he said he was able to do them with no issues. So veteran players and stuff like that were able to execute all the old moves from there. So he said he really felt like this was a true representation of what was in the arcades when he was growing up.
Good. I wonder if they'll have the track mode screen that offers the $5 Mortal Kombat comic book for the mail away. I'm sure they'll get rid of that screen.
Right.
Expired.
Kenneth Lee, we don't know who said the Mortal Kombat wasn't one of the original ROMs. I don't know who said that. Somebody asked, can I mod these and control them with my Cobra firing system? Yeah, that would be fun. That would be a nice little project there. So let's see here. For some of you new viewers, let's go ahead and take a look at Super Dimensional's game room right now. I know you guys are probably wondering what's to the right of him or left. So I know he loves to show off that glass case right there.
I think you love to show it off. It's a little bit under construction right now because I have some things boxed up that I'm making some moves. But yeah, I collect Transformers, Masterpiece, Macross, Mospita, Robotech. So that's just kind of a quick glimpse of my collection here. I got some Voltron up at the top there.
Yeah, and Wolf and Super Dimensional here also have their own YouTube channel, guys, so they also post some interesting stuff as well. So I posted a link of their YouTube channels there in the description below, so you guys can check that out.
My YouTube game is kind of weak, but I'm more into the Instagram just because of time constraints. I don't have a lot of time usually to make YouTube videos and make cool bumpers like you guys do, where you have an intro and all that stuff. Maybe eventually I'd like to get around to that and do some Transformers videos and some video game videos and things like that, but time permitting.
Somebody's asking, what do we think about the 12-in-1 on the Street Fighter cocktail photo that was posted online?
Bullshit.
I don't know. I mean, like, even the stuff that was there at CES, I'm just taking it just like, okay, that's what we see. That's what we're playing right now. We don't know what they're going to release. A lot of the games, since they are licensing through Capcom, I could think that that's in the near foreseeable future because they're all Capcom.
Well, here's the problem with that. They had 2 Neo Geo games listed on that 12-in-1, and then they put a piece of tape over it. So it kind of just shows, like, do they even know what they're doing over there? I mean, are they just throwing things together, or do they have they really been in talks with SNK? I don't know. It just doesn't seem likely that you'd have 2 SNK fighters on a Capcom heavy fighting machine. You know, if I wouldn't have seen those Fatal Fury games listed on there, I would have been like, oh wow, they maybe they're going to do this 12-in-1 cabinet with all these Capcom fighters. But I would say that given the fact that we got kind of the least popular version of Street Fighter on the Street Fighter cabinet that we got, probably not a good chance that that's going to happen. But hey, I'd love to be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think now it's all of a licensing issue as far as what they can possibly get and everything. I know a lot of people have high hopes for X-Men and WrestleFest. And there's a couple of concerns I personally have with WrestleFest and also X-Men. Number one, we don't know if the WWE can reproduce that game. Obviously, we know that legally years ago they had to change from WWF to WWE. And the second issue that I have is some of the wrestlers now may have their own trademarks and creative contents. I know the Ultimate Warrior has one, for example. And I know when he had a falling out with the WWF years ago, he couldn't be in any WWF or WWE games. And so I know he's passed away, but I don't know if that's been rectified. So even if they tried to resurrect that game, they'd have to jump over that hurdle too to see if whoever's controlling the Ultimate Warrior's estate is he okay with being re-imaged in one of their games. And that's not speaking about guys like Mr. Perfect or the Big Boss Man, or aka Ray Traylor, who has passed away. So we don't know what their agreements are for all of those iconic wrestlers.
Yeah, and the other thing with the X-Men, that's a property of Marvel, and Disney is, I mean, even with Capcom, and when they want to try to re-release like Marvel versus Capcom 2, they have to go through hell to get those games because of all the characters that are involved in the licensing, right. And they don't want to do it.
Yeah, it was hard for Capcom to get it, even when it was totally under Marvel's control.
Even though they made the game and they just wanted to re-release it on Xbox and PS3 on digital, I mean, it was a long process just for them to get that on there. And then I believe that game got yanked. Right. It was just a short window of time that they were able to have it on there. So they don't want to mess with, whatever intellectual property that they're working on. And, they've got plans for the future on movies and games and things like that. And I believe that the current Marvel versus Capcom that came out on the PlayStation 4, Capcom wanted to do it one way, and Disney wasn't having it. They wanted to put all the Guardians characters in there, and that's why we ended up with the Guardians of the Galaxy characters in that game, right, as opposed to some of the fan favorites. Mm-hmm. So that kind of ruined that game, honestly, because the fans and the creators wanted to do one thing, and Disney thought they knew better. And sometimes they do, but in this case, they didn't know their audience well, and that game tanked. So
right. And guys, when I hear people trying to put information out or what games may be coming out, I don't. It's a cross between what game can they put out, emulation, and also licensing. So that's why I don't jump on the high horse when I see games or people talking about games. For example, X-Men 6-player does not run on Raspberry Pi. I've tried to get it to run. I've worked with the guys who are builders for a lot of these images, and we just can't get it to run. Even in some cases, the 4-player version of X-Men doesn't run well. It has audio lag, but I do know that it can run if you enter certain command lines and stuff. But remember, it's licensing, and then also how easy is it to emulate. And all the games that Arcade1up has released are easy to emulate games. I think maybe the hardest one, I think NBA Jam, if they try to release it, I think that one might be tough. I've only played it a few times on Pi. But,
you're gonna run into it. It runs fine. It runs just as well on MAME.
Okay.
Yeah. But the problem you're going to run into with that game, once again, is licensing. I mean,
true.
There's teams involved, there's players involved, the NBA Players Association. You got to do all these things, which at the time might have been easy, but now these players are retired, deceased, have their own branding, all kinds of stuff. And that's not just, oh, let's just take this game and put it out there. No, there's royalties and all kinds of things involved. And I don't think you ever see NBA Jam, not in the way we remembered it anyways. If they do it, they're going to have to probably hack it to bits, and it won't even be the version you remembered. So.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Yeah, I mean, somebody had a question as far as what size cabinets are they trying to do. They are coming out thinking of the idea about 4-player mods or 4-player cabins, but all I have to do is tell you guys, just wait till you see mines. And
I think ultimately what Arcade1up needs to do is just release a generic cabinet where you can put your own Raspberry Pi inside of it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, let's be honest, like, it doesn't take much. I'm running Metal Slug 4 right here. I mean, it doesn't take much to get the games that you want and remember and love on one of these machines, you know? A couple of $100 extra. I mean, once you've got the cabinet, you've enjoyed it for a few months and you want a little more out of it, you know, start accumulating parts, and then once you have everything, do it. You know, the Raspberry Pi portion of it is $30, and you can buy it on Amazon, and you can hook it up to your TV, and you can start tweaking and building an image out for it. And then once you get all the rest of the stuff to make your cabinet ready to go, pop it in there, and you're good to go, you know? So
right.
And then on the just let me finish up with this. On Glenn's Arcade1up fan page on Facebook, I mean, there's tons of people on there that are making you know, custom side art and marquees and graphics. So you could buy this Street Fighter machine and turn it into a Ninja Turtles machine, or turn it into a Killer Instinct machine. I mean, I've seen them done on other channels on YouTube and on Facebook and things. So,
right.
But whatever you want to do with a little bit of creativity and money, you can do it. So,
true.
And one of the things I'd like to add is I spoke to the main director there. I spoke to the main reps, and I asked him specifically, what games are you guys targeting? What do you guys want first? He says, we would like to have every arcade game from your childhood available. One of the hardest things for us to do is to get the licensing. Once we secure that, we'll make it work.
Nice.
Yeah, it's all about licensing. Yeah, the easiest games to get the license for is, and then emulation. It has nothing to do with what surprise they come out with. I could tell you NFL Blitz ain't in the pipeline anytime soon.
Right.
NFL Blitz and the 6-player X-Men is definitely not in the timeline anytime soon due to licensing and emulation.
Even back to the licensing, like Madden is the only NFL licensed game on any video game console because they have the rights to that franchise. So they're not going to give
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct, yeah, that's going to be a tough one because Microsoft owns Rare,
right?
And that game's got Nintendo written all over it. So we're never going to see that either, you know.
Not only that, but it's almost impossible to emulate.
Yeah, and I read an article, was last year, the guy who does the voice in NFL Blitz and NBA Jam, he was trying to get EA to remake another version of NBA Jam. And so Microsoft, I believe they were the last ones that owned the rights to that. So I don't know, that's up in the air.
Yeah. It's crazy. Hey, did they mention anything about potentially larger monitors going forward or anything about that? Or
I probably doubt it because they probably have a license to make the arcades and stuff in a certain size, like this 3/4 of a size. So they probably can't increase the size of the monitor. I mean, the only thing they could do is increase it a little bit and then remove the bezels,
right,
or the screen. So,
and they have a template and they know it works. One of the things that surprised them even is how quickly they grew. They didn't anticipate this kind of growth so quickly. And he was explaining some of the numbers that he just saw on the website itself, and they were all in shock.
Wow. Well, that just goes to show you what kind of vehicle Walmart can be for your product. But they they need to not mess that up, because if they keep putting out subpar product, people are gonna be like, nah, not again, you know.
Right, that's true. That's true. I mean, if they increase the size of the monitor, they would also increase shipping costs, and then they probably have to redo the boxes and how they repack everything. So, I mean, there's a formula to that.
Yeah,
when they
I'm
do all
cool.
that.
I'm cool with the size they are. I just thought, I've seen people that have done custom where they've put a 19 in, then obviously they have to lose the bezel art, but it does look nice. So.
Yeah, Mario here was asking, was the Golden Tee monitor the same size? Yeah, it's the same size as all the other monitors. And Ed Ray, he's looking for better controls. So I know Ed.
But the Golden Tee did have the better trackball. It had an actual HAP. It said HAP on there, and it was a 4-inch ball as opposed to whatever we're getting here on this 12-in-1.
Yeah, definitely. I know it was better just by touching it. Even if it didn't say HAP, I could tell it was, much more higher quality.
Yeah.
Then just to recap, they also had said that they were upgrading the sticks, correct, to a little bit better quality.
Yeah, they're looking into that right now. They're using Sanwa clones.
Mm-hmm.
So they would like to keep the price the same, but at the same time upgrade the controls and the buttons.
Right. Well, let's see here. So do any of you guys have any other mods or anything that's coming out? I thought we would have a little bit more questions, because there's been past few days a lot of people upset with customer service and the fact that they haven't received stuff yet. So,
well, I still haven't gotten an email back yet that I sent 2 weeks before Christmas. So it is what it is.
Right.
I guess I'll have to take the law into my own hands.
So Captain Kenway, on the subject of X-Men license, what about the X-Men game people were playing on the MK2 cab? So we didn't know what happened after that was reported, because this was after the fact. I didn't really notice that game was being played until I got home and somebody had mentioned it on the internet later on. So who knows what happened, if there was discussions internally with that Arcade1up, but I think they were just testing it out, and hopefully this is something that we'll see later on.
Right.
In other news, I returned my PlayStation Classic.
Did you pay full price for it, or was it something?
No, I finally, despite all the bad press it got, I took a chance on it for the $59.99, and I had like a $25 gift card to Amazon. So I said, what the hell, I'll give it a shot, right? And then I found myself down this rabbit hole of buying different thumb drives, and this one's not working, and this one's not working, and I finally got one that was working, but then the image that I downloaded, like when I formatted the card, it was still too small, or I'm sorry, it was still too large, and and so I had to like remove games, and then I had all these empty folders, and I played a couple of games, and I looked at how the image looked, and the image was soft, and it had like the audio was like cutting in and out, and I could see the frames dropping, and I said, you know what? I'm over this. I have a perfectly fine PS3 in the other room that'll play any PS1 disc I put in it.
And you're basically just paying for the show. I mean, it looks nice.
Why do I have this? So I just said, fuck this. I boxed it up and sent it back to Amazon.
Yeah, yeah. You're just better off getting a case for your pie and calling it a day.
Yeah, it's I've got the classics Nintendo ones, and they're great. And I don't knock the hardware of the PlayStation Mini. Maybe the on-off button felt a little cheap, and it was like a featherweight, but the controllers felt exactly like I remember PlayStation controllers.
That was the best part. I heard the controllers.
But Jesus, the cord was like, I mean, my son's arm is longer than the damn cord on that thing. So.
Yeah, and that's something I want to talk about too, guys. Even though we're modding our stuff and we're modding our Arcade1up cabs, at some point in time, we have to ask ourselves, what exactly is it we're doing? You know, if you're starting to put $700 worth of equipment in a $300 cab, sound bars and a whole bunch of other stuff, what is it we're doing? You know,
Right.
I think I've pushed the penny a little bit. I know some people are looking to hack. In fact, I came across a thread the other day. Somebody asked, how come none of the builders or high-end modders are really trying to hack the Arcade1up? And the reason being is because the PCB, which is equivalent to the All Winners PCB, which Arcade1up is using, is equivalent to the Raspberry Pi Zero. I believe it still has less specs, no Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth, and even trying to load a decent front end on that is not worth it.
Right.
You know, is not worth it. I mean, yes, there's fun in hacking and doing a few other things, but you could get a Pi, a B, not a B plus, but a B for $30. So if you paid yourself $10 an hour, that's, you know, 3 hours out of your time. If you're soldering and trying to add things, you still want to add a nice front end, you know, other than just, you know, MAME. And that's what Retro Pi is for. You go get a Raspberry Pi B plus for $32 in most cases, and it has, you know, tons of support, tons of builders, tons of images, and it runs. And you know, even certain things still don't run well on B plus. So at some point in time, you have to ask yourself, what is it you're doing?
Yeah, totally.
What is it you're doing? I see we have Level 1 online. He's another excellent builder. He's one of the guys I was talking about, wrote some of the new scripts. He has, you know, great work. And he'll tell you too, is like at some point in time, you have to ask yourself, what is it you're doing? Are you trying to put a V8? Are you trying to put a V8 engine in a 1978 Pinto?
Yeah. And even at that point, I mean, I'd say, how many crappy old computers, you know, are just laying around or whatever in this world that can run emulation even better than a Pi, you know? So
preach to the choir.
You could find an old XP running whatever, you know, 1.2 Pentium 3 that'll outperform a Raspberry Pi. So
that's what I had. I had a Pentium 3 originally with a Voodoo 2 video card running N64 better than the Pi could run the N64.
Oh,
that was back then.
Yeah.
Kenny Lee, I'm not familiar with the Beagle Bone, so we'll have to look that up. Yeah, thanks for that suggestion. But yeah, you have Odroid out there. You have Odroid that cost about $65. Am I right, Level 1? That, I mean, that's even more powerful than the Raspberry Pi. And there's not a lot of support for that, but there are images for it. And me personally, I just don't see.
Look, if there's one thing I know working in sales, it's that people take the path of least resistance. And in this case, the Raspberry Pi, the work's already been done for you. All the software has already been done, and images are out there. You can
script,
you can click, download, and etch it to your thing, and you're done. You know, like it's that simple. So why would we waste our time creating front ends and testing every ROM and trying to get the stereo working and blah 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 blah? No, $30, buy you a Pi, get you a monitor controller, you're done. Run thousands of games.
And you're right. It's whatever the community decides to back up. The Pi might not be the most powerful device and small computer out there. We've seen that that the whole community got behind it, and they're making these images and really supporting it. So there may be like a more powerful system out there, but people are supporting the Pi.
Sure.
Yeah, and Level 1 online, I believe, don't quote me on this, I know he just said the Odroid is $60 to $80. You could check out some of his videos. I believe he has videos on the Odroid, and I do know we do have some images for it, but you'd have to talk to him about that. You could check out his channel, Level 1 online, but he goes really in depth with a lot of images and making his own scripts, and currently he has about 3,000 followers himself, so he can help you out in that regard.
Nice.
All right, guys, is there any more questions or any concerns for tonight? I would love to answer some questions and really dig in. Yes, Jason, WDG is We're Dirty Gaming. He is still online. He is here, and so is Level 1 online as well. I think there's something going on with Arcade Punks. I'm not sure right now because I've seen a lot of people post about that. But we have all the images backed up. It's all right. You guys are welcome. Frosty, thank you guys for watching. I do have a new Patreon. I'm posting the link here in the group. If you guys, I'm not begging for money, but if you guys just want to give $1 or anything, it will go to any new events or anything related to my YouTube channel as well. Just to give you guys the best technology and best stuff that's out there. You know, we're reachable to help you guys out there. And what frame rate was running Mortal Kombat running at? It looked like it was running at 60.
It was running like butter. It was really smooth. Like I mentioned before, my friend who calls himself the expert on Mortal Kombat was executing the fatalities with no issues. And he said his experience was exactly as he remembered it from back in the day. So, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we were impressed with Mortal Kombat. But again, remember, we'll see what happens,
Yeah, we'll see what we get.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. All right, guys. I think that about does it for tonight. And we have Wolf, the Wolf of Gaming. We also have Super Dimensional here. We don't do this weekly. We just try to do it whenever is needed, and we like to address questions too. I was trying to cover a little bit more about CES and all the other tech that was there. I will be posting a video with the foldable LG TV. Hopefully I get that up by this weekend.
Beautiful TV, by the way. They had one demonstration where the TV just rolled out of the box, and the image was just amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, also, if you guys want us to start doing this more regularly, or there's topics you want us to discuss, put it in the comment section below, and we'll definitely work together to try to get those videos cranked out for you, because we enjoy doing this, and we all have families and stuff. But if we have something that's exciting to talk about, we can always try to push that up the ladder to get you guys that too.
Yeah, we're not just here for Arcade1up talk. I know we're here to help the community and stuff, but there's some other things we're familiar with. Mario, I wear a size 13. If that question was directed to me, I thought my shoe size was the perfect thing. I mean, obviously I should have took a tape measure, but I like to use that in a dollar bill to measure things. But yeah, guys, you guys have any other topics or things we would like to you guys would like us to discuss? We're well versed on many different topics, and we want to bring the authentic experience to your home as far as some of the stuff. There was another YouTuber who was complimenting Arcade1up, and apparently he didn't know a lot of the customer service issues and stuff going on, but you guys know exactly what is going on, and we want to address those issues. If you have any problems or concerns, we want to address it in an open forum. We won't block you for stating your opinions. We want to know your true concerns, and we see they're being mentioned on the page every day. So we're not company shields. We're not paid off. We're here for fun, and if we see something, we're going to talk about it.
Absolutely. I'm excited for their new cabinets, and I've already tried to think about where I can put one in here, or maybe out in the hallway or something. My wife is going to kill me, but but I do have concerns, just like you guys have concerns, and I've been through kind of the ringer on this one, and it's finally mostly good. But I want to see a lot of those issues shored up in the future, and definitely we'll be talking to you guys about what we see going forward with this wave 2.
Yeah, I know my biggest concern, and my heart is really going to go out to the individuals who bought 3, 4, 5, and 6 cabs, and God forbid the monitor blows out. We don't know. I do know that there has been some bad reviews on the monitors prior to Arcade1up getting these monitors. In fact, if you look on YouTube or eBay and type up the model number, it has some questionable reviews about the monitor. And my issue is because the arcade sticks, the buttons and stuff, those could be supplied by other vendors. Okay, your light up marquees and everything else that could be supplied by other vendors. However, the monitor is its own proprietary system with the board. We have the Pi to replace it, but how to mount the monitor or get a new TV or something in there, that's going to be some work. And you know, like Mario just said he has 4 of those. So what happens if 4 of them go out? How do you mount it? What brackets should you get? So we're keeping an eye on that. I've looked at some brackets, some adjustable things that you guys can do to, in case of an emergency, in case they all blow out, because we don't know. I mean, you know, if it was a cheap $50 Insignia TV from Best Buy and you need to just slap one in there, yeah, okay, you know, that's fine. But we feel your pain, and we're thinking about that kind of stuff down the road. What happens if all 4 of my monitors blow out?
And that's kind of the nice thing about like the extension, the Rec Room Masters. You can put any 32-inch in there, you know, and it's just adjustable and mounts right in there. So, but we don't have that standardized thing with this. So if it goes out on you and this company's not around, then what?
Exactly. And that's why we're here. We as the community have to stick together to help each other out, you know, as far as the modding community. And I know there's Facebook groups for modders and non-modders and, you know, the regular group and stuff. But honestly, I don't believe any of that, because even if you're familiar with one of my other hobbies is Traxxas. I love running RC cars. You don't have different communities like that. You get your stock item and you modify it. That's what the community is about. And, you know, Arcade1up fans, either people for it, against it, modders, whatever, we all just need to learn to embrace that, because it's a hobby. Just look at it as a hobby and don't look at it as just a stock product that you should be satisfied with just because you bought it that way.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. All right, Wolf, you got anything left in closing? Is there any other questions or concerns here? I see Joshua Lee just posted something.
Well, personally, I think we've covered everything I wanted to. I just want to thank everybody who stopped by and kind of hung out with us tonight. We love
Wolf,
that we grew up with, and we like to read.
Yeah, Wolf, I think we're cutting up there. So
I'll go ahead and take over, and then hopefully he can come back on the backside. But I'm Super Dimensional on YouTube. I've got several kind of slight pseudo tutorial videos on how to mod. I don't go into hardcore in-depth review or anything, but it's more of like overviews and stuff. So if you want to check out my channel, I'd appreciate it. I'm also on Instagram under the same handle, Super Dimensional. And then you'll find me in the Facebook groups under Brian Buck. And I'll give it to Keo.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys again for joining. Please get a chance to, what is this? Keo, love my armor. Creighton, son has a slash and wrestler. Cool to see you are in. Yeah, I'm in the RC. We're in the RC video games, fireworks, waterproofing. You guys should check out some of the waterproofing videos I have. But thank you guys again for watching. We will be again back. Please comment below if you guys would like to contribute to my Patreon, which I just opened up about an hour ago because I saw somebody from the last live stream wanted to donate. It's there. We're not begging. We, you know, just wherever you guys want to help out, even if it's just 5 cents. I appreciate anything. I'm just grateful. So, all right, guys, we're signing out. You guys have a good night. Okay.
Peace.
All right, Alan, you have a good night, man. Thanks for watching. And Jason Johnson, thank you for watching as well. Thank you. We appreciate it.